It's very unfortunate what happened, but at least we hope that this will be an alarming event, calling for the international community to wake up and realize how serious this threat is. So we hope that this will be a game changer. We hope that there will be some more engagements and some more commitments by the international community to feel that they have to face this challenge and eradicate ISIS anywhere that they operate, to make sure that such terrorist activities would not be repeated.
So do you see attacks like the one in Paris as a sign of weakness on the part of IS?
On the ground, we feel that they are weaker than they used to be, but that by no means an indication that ISIS has significantly weakened. They might be losing some grounds here and there, but to them, to terrorize, of course, they are using different methods, and I think this is probably a change of the tactics. And they might try to do more of this if they're not stopped and if they're not kept under pressure.
So what, in your opinion, would it take to defeat ISIS, not just to contain them and keep them under pressure, to actually beat them?
It's very important to militarily defeat them, because once they lose territory, that means no areas for the jihadis from all over the world to come to, so they will probably lose their attraction sites, and they will lose their capability to recruit locals. They will lose their capability to raise funds. So military defeat of ISIS is the beginning of the total defeat of ISIS, but that by no means is the end of them. To do this, we also believe that there has to be an international community's real engagement to cut off their movement, to dry out their financial resources wherever they may be. And more importantly, it's mostly for the Islamic countries to fight ISIS with a more moderate version of Islam's ideology. If the international community is not ready to send troops and to on the ground engage with ISIS, then they have to provide sufficient support to the forces that have effectively been fighting ISIS. And I mean the Peshmergas. The Peshmergas have been the most effective force that have defeated ISIS, that have pushed ISIS out.
Now, you, of course, as Kurds, you're pushing forward, but you're pushing into territory you regard as your own. And there's a limit to how much further you can go, because you don't want to go into, say, Arab or Sunni areas. That puts quite a limitation on it, doesn't it?
We do have these geopolitical limitations. We cannot go beyond certain areas where we don't believe it's a part of Kurdistan. But in order to fight ISIS in those areas, we all have to come to some sort of agreements, and we have to have a coalition force. In this case, we do need Arab forces capable of fighting, and also those forces have to be carefully selected, which do not create any sensitivity with the local populations.
When you say Arab, you mean outside Arab countries. Do you think they should get involved?
Not necessarily. If Iraqi forces are capable of fighting ISIS and drive ISIS out of these territories.
Are they?
So far we haven't seen. I mean, we've seen some progress, but so far it hasn't been a very decisive force to completely defeat ISIS.
Now, if the West and the outside powers do what you think they should do, how long do you think it would take to defeat IS completely?
I think if the international community is willing to fully engage and militarily defeat ISIS, it should not take more than months or perhaps even weeks.